Royals, Yankees, ALDS Game 2, bottom 9. Yankees down 4-2, tying run at the plate. Gleyber Torres grounds out to short. That's your ball game. KC wins at 4-2. They even the series against the Yanks at 1 game apiece. Game 3 scheduled for Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern in Kansas City. And for more on the Royals and Yankees after Game 2 in the Bronx, we say hello to our resident World Series champ, Will Middlebrooks. Will, Carlos Rodon. Man, that dude was so hyped at the start of this game. Struck out the side in the first, and he lasted 3 2/3. Gave up 4 runs. What do you think about the early emotion displayed by Rodon and how that might have affected him for the rest of his outing?
Well, he's always been a really emotional guy, right? Maybe a little too fired up early, which you can't fault him for that. It's a big game. You're pitching at home. He pitched better at home all year. And he really didn't pitch bad, right? He didn't walk anybody. He struck out 7. But I think looking at the overall body of work today from him, he was too much in the zone, right? He gets so much swing and miss because he's deceptive, and that slider is so good. And sometimes you got to tip your caps to Kansas City, because I thought they did a really good job of handling his slider. Now, if you look into this past season, hitters only batted 199 against that slider. So Kansas City went into this knowing, look, this is a big game. It's the postseason. What's a pitcher going to go to the most? Their best pitch. It's a slider. All 3 runs he gave up in there, or I guess 4 runs end up being, he came out of the game and gave up 1. But 3 of the runs he gave up when he was in the game were all off the slider. Hanging slider to Salvador Perez for the homer. So it's almost like he was in the zone too much, and guys were able to be aggressive with him and weren't missing.
Look, both teams' bullpens pitched really well in this game. Rodon gave up the 4 spot in the 4th inning there, and then he was gone, and then that's really all KC got the rest of the way. But really, the Yankees offense struggled. Everyone's going to look at Aaron Judge and say, why isn't this dude hitting? What's not clicking? And can the Yankees advance if he's not going to hit?
Look, I think Kansas City feels like they're playing with house money. You know, of course, they come into every game expecting to win. It's the big leagues. You're a professional baseball player. You get paid to play this sport. But I think there's a lot of pressure on New York. I think there's a lot of pressure on Aaron Judge to be Aaron Judge. And he has this black cloud hanging above his head because he has not performed in the postseason. You look at the numbers, they're right there. You can't do that. You're considered one of the best players in the game, yet when you are on the biggest stage under the brightest lights, you don't show up. So that's going to be an issue, yeah. And I think that when he goes, that offense goes, right? Yes, Juan Soto is there. I get that. But they can pitch around him. He can take his walks. They're not scared of Aaron Judge right now. Yes, he can change the game with 1 swing of the bat, but he does not look like the same Aaron Judge. You can see it in his eyes. There's not that fire, that confidence that you see him throughout the regular season. So you can, at this point, you can pitch around Juan Soto and get to Aaron Judge right now, and he's going to have to just prove the opposite before that changes.
Certainly the Royals went into the Bronx thinking, look, let's at least get 1. Well, they got the 1. They got the split. How much better should they feel about their chances right now as they go back home now to face Clark Schmidt and the Yankees on Wednesday?
I think they're very confident. You know, seeing them throughout the season and the way they played on the road, they're a good ball team. They're scrappy. They're gritty. They play hard. But they're a completely different team at home. For whatever reason, but they're comfortable there. They see the ball well there. And their offense really scores a ton of runs at home. And something to point out today, Bobby Witt Jr. and Vinny Pasquantino 0 for 9 with 6 Ks. They did absolutely nothing. So this was a 1 through 9 in the lineup. You're getting knocks at the top from Garcia. You're getting knocks at the bottom from Massey. You're getting big hits from everybody throughout the lineup. You're not just leaning on the Bobby Witts and the Vinny Pasquantinos to drive in all the runs. Yet those 2 guys at home were 2 of the best at-home batters in all of baseball. So I don't know if that's going to make a difference or not in the postseason, but you add those 2 guys into the mix with the other guys rolling, looking pretty good for Kansas City, in my opinion.
We got a 1-1 series between the Royals and Yankees.